It's my new shirt, and it's fairly up to date on what's going on in the world right now. Uh, Hello, welcome to a brand new episode of Dylan Knows. This is Dylan Lang. This is episode 496. Remake this. This week we talk a lot about all the remakes that were announced this week. We do some anniversaries, some death. HBO Max finally updated their slate and their new name. Some new studios being made. Money, food, Stranger Things, books, sports ball, all kinds of stuff, casting, same old kind of stuff. So, as always, I will start with what's going on this week with me. My wife and daughter went away on a camping trip on Friday and are coming back tomorrow, Sunday, since it's 11:39 p.m. here on April 15th, which is tax day. Actually, I don't think it's tax day because when it falls on April 15th, it's like a holiday in Washington. So then you don't do it 16th. I think the 17th is when your taxes are due. We got our taxes done last week, so that's all right. 2 weeks ago, actually, I should say. My son went away to his friend's house Friday night to Saturday, so I had my house to myself. But again, I didn't feel like doing what I like to do by myself. So just did the usual stuff I always do. And then got my son today. And then today was community day. It was Togetic for Pokemon Go. Went out and did that. We had a pretty big storm there for a little bit. Had some hail, thunder and lightning, and some heavy rain. So kind of interesting about that. And yeah, that's really about it. That's going on here locally. Also this week, it was Sarah Michelle Gellar's birthday. Happy birthday, Sarah Michelle. I think it was 46, I think her age is. Even though that doesn't matter, but I figured I would mention it anyway. So that was nice. My 500th episode is coming up very quickly. And I've decided what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do my list of my 500 favorite movies of all time. And I think I'm going to split it up into 5 episodes of 100 movies each. So it's going to be episode 500, and then it's going to be like 500 A, B, C, D, and then I'm going to do like an E, which is just going to be like my normal show like I do today for that week. So that should all work out pretty well. We'll see how that all works out and how I'll attempt to do that, because that is going to be the first weekend in May, I think, if everything goes according to plan. So I got to figure out how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to film it, blah, blah, blah. Now, my family's going to be away that weekend. And so I might be able to do like an all day thing. Let's just like change my shirt for every episode. So that'd be kind of, maybe I'll go ahead and do that. So that means I got to get working on that. I'll also have watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which comes out the day before the 6th of May. And also the 6th of May is also Free Comic Book Day. So I got that going on too. But that's a little bit away. So we'll take care of that over there. There's one thing I just didn't want to get off my chest here about, and I guess this is more of maybe it's a me issue or whatever, but I guess I don't like it when people stop talking to me or ignore me because they think I did they believe I did something to them on purpose, or they're offended by me, so they don't talk to me for a while. I don't understand why that happens. There was this one time where at work, I forgot I was never told they were taking the day off. And so when I called and left a message for them, say, having you come in, he came in to work and screamed and yelled at my boss saying that I was terrible. I didn't know what was going on. I asked him to do that. All I did was say, "Hey, are you coming in?" That's all I said. I didn't know that he had off. He didn't talk to me for like a month or so after that. It's kind of petty, I know. And then this was kind of petty also. Now, a couple weeks ago, beginning of the spring break for the kids, wasn't last week or this past week. It was the week before. I was sick. And I came in on Monday and Tuesday to work because it was a short week. I had stuff I needed to do. And yes, I was sick and I didn't want to be at home to get my kids and wife sick, stuff like that, even though I already did. But I had stuff I had to do. And then I took off that Wednesday for being sick. Came back that Thursday and then had off Friday, Saturday, Sunday for Easter, and then came back and worked a full week this past week. Now, there's somebody I work with who came over and talked to me when I was sick on Tuesday, which was the worst day of all, asking, I should go home or what was going on. I was like, yeah, I'll be all right. I'll take care. But they kept coming over and talking to me. And then I left on Wednesday, and then when I came back Thursday, they weren't around, or they left early or something like that because they weren't feeling well. And then, of course, they off Friday. I think they didn't come in Monday, and then they came in Tuesday. And on Tuesday, they'd been pretty friendly with me, but they stopped talking to me. They ignored me. When I tried to help them, they were saying, I can do it myself, even though I was stuff like that. So they weren't saying a word to me. When I went over to take a package from them, they would drop it on the table before I could grab it from them. Just petty bullshit. And my assumption was that I believe that person believes that I got them sick because I came in to work when I was sick. Now, everybody does this, all right? That person has done it before where they've come into work being sick. I only get 5 sick days. We don't have unlimited sick days, and I don't want to use my vacation for sick days either because I'm using my vacation for vacation time, and that's partially due, the company itself probably should, you can't really give unlimited sick days because then people might take advantage of it, but still be a little bit more open to sick time or whatever because it's not fun time. So I'm assuming that they think that I got them sick. So that's why they are mad at me. Now, the thing is, I don't interact with them in any way. I don't touch their stuff. I don't touch I touch their packages after they're done with it, not before they work on it. And the only thing I can think of that if it is my fault is that they were in my area when I was coughing and sick on that Tuesday, talking to me about how I should go home and stuff like that, but they were up close to me. I coughed into my arm, so it wasn't out and about spreading like that. Now, this sickness has spread for a while. The week before I got sick, someone else at work got sick. They got me sick, and I got 2 or 3 other people probably sick because I came in. Those other 2 or 3 people, one is my manager who touches all the orders, and the other is a sewer who touches sewing orders. And the person who was mad at me for getting them sick is a packer. So they would get more sick stuff from my boss and the sewer because they would have touched the stuff being sick that they would have touched like that. I had nothing to do with that. Now, is it possible I got them sick for coming in? It's very possible, sure. But at the same time, they've come in sick before and have gotten other people sick before. No one's ever said anything about it, just joking why they don't cut them out completely from their lives, which is a very petty, rude, and ignorant thing to do. But this person is fairly petty, rude, and ignorant. They voted for Trump. They are definitely Trumpists at heart. So they're morons, absolutely. But I tried to be kind and good and have fun with them. But I don't understand. And then on top of that, you're hypocritical because you go talk to one of the other shippers all the time who'd been in there for a few days. And then lo and behold, the shipper was out on Friday sick. After you came in being sick, you hung out with them and you got them sick. And yet you just don't see that as your problem. You see that, well, someone else got me sick, so it's their fault, not my fault for talking to them when I was sick. Also, they went to the back and complained about me getting people or people coming in sick and getting them sick, and they were already sick. So the people are saying, well, why are you here if you're sick? And they're like, well, I have to make money. Well, yeah, obviously that's why I came in also, or I didn't have the time, so it's just a rude, petty, ignorant thing, which I expected better from them, though I shouldn't have because of their attitude towards a lot of certain things. So my soapbox is done. I just had to get that off my chest that I shouldn't let it upset me because I don't think I did anything wrong or anything that they wouldn't have done themselves or have done themselves. it upsets me sometimes, and I don't understand why, because I like to try to be nice to everybody. I try to like to be friends with everybody, and that might be kind of my downfall when it comes to things, because I want to be friends with everybody, and it doesn't quite work out that way. There's somebody who's left the company that I'd like to keep in touch with, and I DM them on Facebook, but their responses take days to get back to me, and they're one sentence here and there. So obviously they have no desire to keep a relationship up with me, despite the fact that I thought we were friends, and I'd like to keep in touch with them. So that kind of upsets me a little bit too, but time to move on now. This is going to be really annoying if I'm going to have to keep clearing my throat like this. It really pisses me off. But I guess if I talk a lot, it's going to build up. Mucus is going to build up. So like, I'm still recovering from this, but it's not as bad as it was, obviously. All right, I'm done. Let's just move on here. Let's do some Marvel stuff. The Marvels trailer, the Captain Marvel 2 sequel, released their first teaser trailer this week. Looks like pretty self-standard stuff. You get an idea of what the story's about. The Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, and Miss Marvel are all going to be jumping in and out of each other's lives when they use their powers, which is going to put them in some awkward positions and stuff like that. So we're going to figure out how it's going to happen. Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury is in it also. Excuse me. I thought it was fine, but everybody has this hard-on for destroying Brie, who plays can't think of her last name right now. I'm gonna do this right. Brie Larson, that's right. They have this hard-on for destroying them, so your toxic male assholes have disliked the video, and is the most disliked video of all time. And again, all these news channels, all these news articles are like, it's the most disliked trailer of all time, because, as I mentioned a few weeks ago, they want to destroy the MCU for whatever reason, and Disney. I don't understand why they want to do that, because it's successful. I keep seeing stupid articles about, how it's declining, and that, the last chance for Marvel is this and that, and that's all a bunch of bullshit, and that their stuff is, it's absolutely awful, and I hate that. But it's just people being petty. Again, petty seems to be the word of the day, and ignorant and moronic about stuff. And these are just toxic assholes who don't like Brie Larson, don't like her attitude, which is a fine attitude. I think she's great. I think she's really good as Captain Marvel. And it pisses me off, and it's I don't understand it. I do understand it, but I don't understand why you have to have hatred in your hearts for that. It doesn't make any sense to me. Ant-Man is going to be the first movie that's going to have a American Sign Language option when it's on Disney Plus. So if you want to go do that, they'll show the movie, and in the corner they'll have somebody doing the sign language of what the characters are saying. Yes, you could probably put subtitles on, but it also does help for the American Sign Language. I think it's kind of a neat idea that they're going ahead and doing that. So pretty cool about that. Nightcrawler is transforming into Spider-Man in the new comic Uncanny Spider-Man, part of the Fall of X storyline coming out this summer. Looks interesting. I've always liked Nightcrawler, and I like Spider-Man. To have them sort of mesh together could be really interesting. That's all the Marvel stuff I have right now. Yes, I think it is. Yep. We also got the trailer for The Last Voyage of the Demeter, which we talked about a couple weeks ago. That is a chapter or a story in Bram Stoker's Dracula. It was how Dracula made his way from England to the new country to hunt down his lost love, was on board this ship. and we never find out what happened because he boards the ship, and then when it docks, there's nobody on board the ship. This movie shows what happened to that, so that's coming out in theaters really soon. They show the trailer for it this week. I talked about this last week, but Disney Plus has a new series coming on called Crater. First trailer for it came out this week. We get a better idea about it. It's about a group of kids who break the rules, who've never been to Earth, except for one of the kids has lived on Earth, but has been moved to the moon where there's colonies now, and all these kids have only lived on the moon, and they've just been inside their complex that they've lived in their whole life. One of the kids' dads tells his son that he needs to get out and explore a little bit. So he gets them to sneak out and take a moon rover to take a look at a giant crater, and the rest is history. So sort of a out of water, fish out of water sort of thing. Based with a Goonies sort of following to it as well. So that's kind of interesting to take a look at that as well. I think I mentioned this last week, but I'm going to just mention it again. Ryan Coogler, director of Black Panther, is going to be developing a X-Men, rather an X-Files reboot, which is another remake. Hence the Remake This title of this episode. I figured it was relevant again to show that as well. Another remake, the Amityville Horror, the remake with Ryan Reynolds, celebrated its anniversary this week. I think it's about 20-some years old, maybe less than that. So we have that as well. May as well, since I'm sticking with this. Amazon a while back bought MGM. And so they have the MGM library and all the stuff and have access to the characters and stuff like that MGM owns. So we finally start to see what Amazon has got planned, because they announced this week that they will be creating films and TV series on Amazon, reboots and remake, hence the title again, Remake This, of RoboCop, Legally Blonde, Stargate, Barbershop, Pink Panther, Magnificent Seven, Thomas Crown Affair, Poltergeist. These are all going to get reboots and remakes, stuff like that. It's like, when are we going to get past doing reboots and remakes? Let's get back to creating original content, people. Let's go. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Because they're just rehashing stuff that's already out there. So we'll see what happens with that. Drew Cavello has signed on as a showrunner for Paramount Plus's television adaptation of Dungeons and Dragons. So there's going to be a television adaptation of Dungeons and Dragons on Paramount Plus coming up soon. Baywatch is getting a reboot as well on Fremantle. Again, no new ideas. Let's just remake all kinds of old stuff. An American remake of Squid Game is currently in production, or will be is in pre-production at Netflix, which I think is a very bad idea, because you already have Squid Game. You don't need to make an American remake of every goddamn foreign thing, and they want David Fincher to be involved with it. So another remake that we're going to have to just look into. What else? HBO Max has announced that they will be rebranding themselves and doing stuff this summer under the banner of Max now, not HBO Max, Max. And they announced the Harry Potter show, which I talked about last week, will be getting a 10-season pickup, which is absolutely insane for me that they're going to let it go 10 seasons because they want to do every book. I just think it's a bad idea. Doing a show based on The Conjuring, again, doing something that's already out there. They're doing another Game of Thrones prequel. This one's called A Knight of Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight. The Penguin, which is the spinoff of the Matt Reeves Batman movie is presently in production right now. What is that? Oh, Gremlins: Secrets of the Mogwai, the animated series, is coming out here soon. Also, True Detective Night Country is also going to be released here coming soon. Big Bang Theory is going to be getting a spin-off also on Max. The Sympathizer with Robert Downey Jr. is going to be released also on Max. Tiny Toons Adventures, Looniversity, and Welcome to Derry are all set to be released on Max in the next year or so. So they announced or re-announced all this stuff, as it were. Again, lots of remakes and stuff of things that already exist, or movies made of live events, stuff like that. So history repeats itself. Size. History size repeats itself. Speaking of, where is that? Oh yeah, speaking of Waiting for Derry, Madeline Stowe and Stephen Ricker have joined the cast of Welcome to Derry. So you got a couple more members joined that as well. Melissa Barrera from the Scream 6 movie, Scream 5 and 6, I should say, is joining Universal's upcoming monster movie. So that's interesting. Gore Verbinski who's the guy who directed the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, is going to be directing a Sam Rockwell in a new movie, and that should be excellent because Sam Rockwell is an outstanding actor. Olivia Wilde is producing with A24 series adaptations of the novels A Visit from the Goon Squad and The Candy House. So that's going on about that. Frank Grillo, David Harbour, Sean Gunn, Alan Tudyk, Zoe Chow, and Indira Varina have all been cast in the animated DCU series Creature Commandos. So that's the first casting announcement that Gunn is going to be doing. So he's going to be doing that here real soon. Super Mario Brothers has passed $500 million globally and is now the highest grossing video game adaptation movie of all time. Good for them. Speaking of video games, Fortnite is currently this week released their Attack on Titan collaboration. So we've got stuff going on with that. But they've also announced a bunch of other collaborations. The Last of Us, which is getting reviews on HBO and is a video game first and foremost, is going to be getting a collab from HBO, or rather from Fortnite here soon. And one that got me a little bit more excited is Doctor Who is going to get an official collaboration probably in November in time for the 60th anniversary. One of the trusted sources of Fortnite news discovered a bunch of stuff about Doctor Who in the server noise and stuff like that. We already have a Doctor Who spray of the TARDIS that's out there, so they have a connection. So now they're just going to be prepping for the 60th anniversary. It's coming in November. They say it's going to be like 2 skins and some backbling and stuff like that. My idea would be for their glider to be the the TARDIS. You have the TARDIS on top, and they can hang from the bottom of it. Because they can't really have them in the TARDIS while they're landing and stuff like that. They got to be outside of it. The back bling can be the robot dog that has had a big, appearance in the TV show. Can do that as well. The harvesting tool can be the sonic screwdriver. And I think what they need to do with one of the skins, you have to do the Doctor, obviously, but you should do variants of all the Doctors, including the new one. And that way you can settle with, since Tennant is the one that's coming back first for the 60th anniversary stuff. He's doing the specials. You should have his be the first skin to come out. And then what you do that is during this Doctor Who event, which they say is supposed to last about 2 weeks, you do quests and stuff like that to unlock all the other Doctor Who skins. And you can pick and choose which ones you want to wear. I know it'd be funny if you could if you die, you get knocked and you come back as another doctor. They did something like that with that Lego Dimensions game, which was kind of cool. But I think it's a good idea. So we'll see how that actually all works out. Excuse me. There's a lot you can do. You get lots of POIs. You have Daleks. You can have the Cybermen. You can have the Weeping Angels. Do all kinds of, it can be really, really wild. So we'll see if that actually is going to come to fruition. So that'll be good if it does. Let's see. The original Rocky VHS tapes sold for more than $50,000. So if you have the original Rocky VHS tapes, you might be able to sell them for a lot of money. The Fiddler on the Roof legend to Paul apparently is revealed that he was a spy at one time. So that's kind of interesting as well. Jamie Foxx's film Back in Action is having a lot of issues. First and foremost, Cameron Diaz was supposed to be her return to film after a long absence. She left again, and then Jamie Foxx got injured and has been unable to finish the film with 8 scenes left to film. So they're trying to figure out how they're going to do that and how long it's going to take to do all that as well. Craig Engler, who used to be a part of the Sci-Fi Channel and then worked with Shudder and stuff like that, is teaming up with another producing company to create Shiver Studios, which will launch a new horror studio for movies and TV shows and stuff like that, with horror bent to it, obviously. Another anniversary, Grave of Fireflies, the anime about Japanese during World War II, gets a 35 years anniversary this week. The University of Georgia, the Georgia Bulldogs, they have a live bulldog mascot, and they've had it for a long time now. Well, the current one right now is getting ready to retire because it's getting old. So they've introduced a new one. Uga 11 is a new bulldog, and he's going to make his first appearance at the University of Georgia's home opener sometime in the fall. An octopus strangles a diver 40 feet underwater. I don't know if the diver died, but it was weird that a octopus went after someone and tried to strangle them. Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson might actually be related. They might actually be half brothers. Apparently, in a get together where they were hanging out with their families, Matthew McConaughey's mom said that she knew, Woody's dad, and the way she intimated the word knew, they believed that she had an affair with him. Now, remember, Woody Harrelson's dad was a killer who is connected to the JFK assassination. He was one of the transients that was picked up walking around Dealey Plaza that day, and they believe that, they didn't look like transients. They looked like just people who had on wrinkly clothes and had some dirt and stuff spread on them, like they were planted to be there, and that they might have been undercover ops and might have been the ones that killed Kennedy. Never know. But the way that she intimated that she said she knew Woody's dad, it seems like that it's very possible that she had an affair with Woody's dad, and the timing works out perfectly on all ends of how that could happen. But Matthew McConaughey does not want to take a DNA test just because he doesn't want to, I don't know, find out for sure or whatever, but it's very possible that they could be half brothers, which is really cool. Deaths, Garna Stevens was a Halloween 3 actress. She died this week. And Mark Sheehan, lead guitarist of the band The Script, died this week as well. That's the end of page 1. Excuse me. Mia Goth has signed on to be in the new Blade movie, so that's a good casting on that end. Metalocalypse returns with new movies, a live tour, and an album. That was a hit, like, animated series from the 90s, but they had real musicians behind it. So I guess we're going to do that as well. We had a sun tornado not that long ago. Now we have a 60,000 mile tall plasma waterfall that spout off of the sun this week and was photographed. So the sun is getting really active here and there, seeing stuff we've never seen before. I talked about this in the last section. True Detective Night Country is a new season of the True Detective series. Speaking of Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, they were the ones who were in the first series. This one stars Jodie Foster, and it's set in Alaska just as the longest night starts. And so she's investigating a crime during the winter solstice when it's true dark out. So it's should be interesting. Take a look at stuff here. Spy X Family has earned the title of America's top selling book. So Spy X Family's manga has sold more books than a lot of other things out there. There have been rumors and talk that Taika Waititi was interested in doing an Akira live action movie, but it's been sort of quelled for a while. Well, it's been bubbled up again now. It believes that it is now moving forward and may very well be Taika Waititi's next film. He's supposed to be starting work on a Star Wars film, but he has decided he's going to push that back to the back burner and work on Akira next. That very well could be the next film he's going to do. Should be interesting to see what he does with Akira, and interesting to see if it'll actually work out pretty good. Kyle MacLachlan, one of my favorite actors, Agent Dale Cooper from Twin Peaks. This is his most famous role. He also recently has, recently has opened his own winery called Pursued by Bear in the Oregon, Washington area. Well, the Pursued by Bear wine tasting room has officially opened this week. So it is now a full-fledged winery with tasting room. It's in Walla Walla, Washington, which I guess is right near Oregon. So I always thought it was in Oregon, which was here where his winery was, but I guess Walla Walla's in Washington. It might be in Oregon. Let me see. I always thought it was Washington, but it could be Oregon. Yeah, city in Washington State. Yep. So, yeah, but that's really cool that he's opening a wine tasting room. The National Weather Service has issued an El Nino watch. They believe that it's going to be changed to an El Nino warning, which means that El Nino is going to form and be in control of our weather for the next few years. We just went through a La Nina, and so El Nino is coming back here. Glenn Powell from Top Gun Maverick joins Daisy Edgar Jones in the sequel to Twisters. So that should be interesting to see how that goes. Europe successfully launches its JUICE mission, which is going to study Jupiter's icy moons. Dan Snyder, the owner of the Washington Commanders, has sold the team for $6 billion to the Philadelphia 76ers basketball team owner and Magic Johnson, who was part of the group. But they did give him they are going to pay him the $6 billion that he asked for. So now Dan Snyder no longer owns the Washington Commanders. Sydney Agundung has joined the cast of the Lilo and Stitch live action film as Nani, the sister of Lilo. So that's good. Minnie Driver and Annabelle Jahan have joined the pilot for Peep Show, TV series pilot for Fox on FX that they hope will get picked up. Millie Bobby Brown became engaged to her longtime boyfriend this week. Eddie Munson of Stranger Things is going to be getting his own prequel novel, Flight of the Icarus, coming out this fall. The piano lesson based on the August Wilson play is getting a Netflix film. So far, Samuel L. Jackson, John David Washington, and Ray Fisher have all signed on to be in the film. Blood orange brisk iced tea is a new flavor for this summer. I might have to try that and see if I can find it. I'll try it here on the show, obviously. Sounds interesting. The John Wick prequel TV series, The Continental, got its first trailer this week. Didn't show much. It takes place in the 70s and shows some violence and some people, but nothing really too clear that you can see what's actually going on. Star Wars Visions is coming back with a season 2. The new trailer came out. Star Wars Visions is where different animation groups do their version of a Star Wars film. The last one had a lot of anime people on it. I think Aardman, which does a lot of claymation stuff, is doing their first Star Wars one as well. So we're going to be seeing that again. Wes Jatham has joined the cast of Ahsoka as Thrawn's right-hand man. So we'll be seeing him soon. Peacock announces the Cocaine Bear, the True Story documentary. They'll be released at the same time as the Cocaine Bear movie when it goes to streaming there. So you get the actual story and then the movie it was based on. Haikyuu, which was a series of anime that and manga that my wife and daughter devoured during 2020's lockdown. They're finally releasing pop figures of that. Inuyasha is also releasing pop figures. That's one my wife has been reading a lot lately, so that's pretty cool too. The Tampa Bay Rays has started off the baseball season all the way back to opening day, not losing a single game till, I guess it was last night or Friday night or Thursday night or something like that, where they lost to, it was Friday night, lost to the Toronto Blue Jays after winning 13 straight games, which ties the record for biggest streak, I guess, to start a season, I'm assuming. Anniversaries. American Psycho came out in 2000 with Christian Bale. So that's good. That's 23 years old this week. Cabin in the Woods, great film, came out in 2011, 12 years ago. I can guarantee you that one will be in the 500 best films of all time, my best films of all time. Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's home run record this week in 1974. So next year is the big one, 50th anniversary of that. Daredevil season 1 on Netflix debuted 8 years ago this week as well, which means that I probably had my tooth problem back then, because I remember watching the first season for the first 4 episodes of it when I couldn't sleep. My favorite band, REM, has 2 anniversaries this week. The big one is their first album, their first full album, I should say, Murmur, was released 40 years ago this week. And Reckoning, their second album, let's see if I can find where that is. So I can hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Yeah, Reckoning, REM's second album, debuted in 1984. The 40th anniversary of that will be next year. So that's kind of cool. So, yeah, I played a bunch of old Murmur stuff. Murmur's one of their better albums, so I like that. Deaths, a sad death for ABBA fans. Lasse Willeminder has died. He is one of ABBA's main 4 members. He was their guitarist. He passed away this week. Dame Mary Quant, dubbed the mother of the miniskirt, died this week as well. Judith Miller, Antiques Roadshow expert, died at the age of 71 this week. And Ja Shaka, sound system legend, died this week as well. The 2 big deaths this week were Al Jaffe, the king of Mad Magazine's fold-ins, the one who drew all those fold-ins for Mad Magazine forever. He died at the age of 102 this week. And character actor Michael Lerner, who was an elf, Barton Fink, and a whole bunch of other stuff as well. He's a character actor that you would probably recognize if you saw him. Let's see what type of movies he was in, just to give you an idea. Postman Always Rings Twice, National Lampoon's Class Reunion, Vibes, 8 Men Out, Harlem Nights, Barton Fink, obviously Newsies, Blank Check, Radioland Murders, The Road to Wellville, No Escape, Pyromaniac's Love Story, Beautician and the Beast for Richer or Poor, Godzilla, which is the crappy 1997 one. He was Mayor Ebert, so they're making fun of Roger Ebert there. The Mod Squad, My Favorite Martian, 101 Dalmatians 2, Elf, Love and Other Disasters, A Serious Man. So he worked with the Coens a lot. Atlas Shrugged Part 1, X-Men Days of Future Past, Frankenstein's Monster, Monster Frankenstein. Television, he was a regular on a series, right? I guess not. He did a bunch of one-offs on a bunch of bunch of shows here. He did 4 episodes of Hill Street Blues. Excuse me. Did 11 episodes of Courthouse, where he played Judge Myron Winkleman. He did 18 episodes of Clueless, where he played Cher's father, Mel Horowitz. So he's a regular in that show. That's really about it. So, but he was a character you probably would, as I said, you would recognize him if you saw him, but he passed away this week as well. Pedro Almodovar, who is a pretty famous director in his own right, is making a short film that he called Strange Ways of Life that he's going to debut at Cannes this year. And it stars Ethan Hawke and Pedro Pascal. So that's kind of a neat little thing. So that should be one to look for maybe around Oscar time. Fool's Paradise trailer is written and directed by Charlie Day, where he plays a mute guy who is released from a mental institution. He can't speak, and he gets picked up by a Hollywood guy who is he sees that he's a dead ringer for a star who's not doing anything. So he comes in and becomes a big star. And then how he sort of Forrest Gumps his way through stuff. It also stars Ken Jeong, Jason Sudeikis, Kate Beckinsale, Edie Falco, Common, Ray Liotta, John Malkovich, Adrian Brody, Jason Bateman. And yeah, that's it. So it looks kind of interesting. So we'll see how that goes there. Mulligan is an animated film from Netflix, has voice actors Daniel Radcliffe, Tina Fey, Dana Carvey, Nat Faxon, and Chrissy Teigen. So that'll be coming up here soon. Last week, I told you about how Monster Energy Drink was suing Pokemon and popular monster animes for their using the name Monsters. They were trying to trademark Monster. Well, didn't work, as I told you, wasn't going to work, and it didn't. So Pokemon and popular monsters beat Monster Energy Drinks in their lawsuit. Carmen Ejoger, David H. Holmes, and Francois Chazet join The Penguin. That's right, the TV show, the new TV show, The Penguin. People released a picture of a 3D printed steak, and it looks absolutely awful. I still don't know how you're going to do a 3D printed steak, but okay. Deadpool 3 brings back Colossus and Marina Baccarina, who played the love interest of Deadpool. McDonald's opens an auto restaurant with no help and no employees in Fort Worth, Denver, and Las Vegas. Sylvester Stallone's Balboa Productions has signed a multi-year deal with Amazon to do multi-shows for Amazon as well. Hysteria, the luscious Julie Bowen from Maryland, actually, and was in Modern Family, but she's nice. She's very nice. We'll be starring in Peacock's satanic scare thriller about the satanic scare that happened during the Dungeon and Dragon days of the early 80s. A Lego driving game is due to come out very shortly, where you're in Lego cars and you're going to bash into other Lego cars and they're going to break into Legos and stuff like that. Jack Black's song from the Super Mario Brothers movie about Princess Peach is eligible for an Oscar. So we'll see if it actually gets nominated. A new musical instrument translates sounds of every element on the periodic table. Super Mario Brothers will be releasing on streaming on May 9th. Don't know where it's going to stream, but it's going to be released on May 9th. Young Jedi animated trailer came out this week. Both Young Jedi and the Star Wars Visions is coming out May 4th. May the 4th be with you on Disney Plus. The Bad Batch will do one more. Will announce their third and final season, so they'll be doing one more season, and then they're gonna call it a day. Jack Black wants Pedro Pascal as Wario in the Super Mario Brothers sequel, which would be interesting, I guess. Local news: my hometown football team, the Baltimore Ravens, signed Odell Beckham Jr. to a contract. Could be interesting to see that. The first atomic bomb created a forbidden quasi-crystal, which hasn't been seen since, obviously. Okay, so now we got all the good stories left here. Blue raspberry icy flavored cookies are a thing now. So yes, it is. The blue raspberry icy is now in cookie form. That just sounds awful to me, to be honest. But here we are. Stranger Things Saturday morning cartoon is coming to Netflix. It's going to be a cartoon spin-off of Stranger Things, drawn and done sort of like the old school Saturday morning cartoon, half-hour shows, stuff like that. So that's kind of interesting as well. The Bodyguard musical that my wife and I saw in 2020, I don't know, it was before that, was 2019, 2018, something like that, which is based on the movie that starred Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston, and the musical is a all Whitney Houston song musical, so all the songs in it are Whitney Houston songs. So because Whitney Houston was so popular, she had a lot of huge songs and stuff like that. Everybody knows the song. So a version of the show was out doing its off-Broadway stuff. I forget which town it was in, but the show had to cancel or had to end the show early due to the rowdy audience singing all the songs at the top of their lungs. So basically, while the actors are trying to sing the songs of the musical to tell the story of the musical, the fans and the people in the seats were singing at a high volume, almost overwhelming the actors on stage, which is a big no-no. You're not supposed to, you can sing along quietly, but you should not sing along loudly so that you drown out the actors who are doing the performance. So they canceled the show early because of that. It makes sense. I mean, it's what I would do. I mean, my wife, when we see Book of Mormon, she sang all the songs, but at a very low volume, so no one could hear her, except there was one lady that was looking at her periodically. But that was just because the one was a bitch. $1 hot dog night in Philadelphia during one of the Phillies games turned into a massive food fight amongst Phillies fans, which goes to show that the Philadelphia fans are still insane. Anniversaries. The Girl Next Door is from 2004, is just about 19 years old. Sleepwalkers, Stephen King's original story about like werewolf sort of type creatures that are afraid of cats, made its debut in 1992, which is 31 years ago. The Secret of My Success, a great movie with Michael J. Fox, debuted 36 years ago this week. Cat's Eye, another Stephen King cat movie, which is an anthology series of three different stories, debuted in 1985. And Doctor Strange, the character, is officially 60 years old this week as well. A couple more deaths I didn't cover. Rosemary Call, groundbreaking LA Times photojournalist, died. And Ian Berenson, a guitarist for the Alan Parsons Project, and Kate Bush, died at the age of 69 this week as well. Well, I'm going to end early tonight because I only got a little bit of half a page left here. Some more deaths. Edward Corrin, cartoonist for The New Yorker, died at the age of 87. Guy Bailey, co-founder of and guitarist of Guy Barkley, co-founder and guitarist of the Choir Boys, died this week as well. And the last story that I got just before I came on live here, last week I said that Juror number 2 looks like it's going to be Clint Eastwood's last film that he's going to direct. He has casted already. Nicholas Hoult and Toni Collette have been cast in Juror number 2. So that's it. A nice, quick, easy episode of Dylan Knows. I don't think I could have continued with continually coughing and clearing my throat, and it's probably annoying to those who are watching also, but when I talk a lot, that's what happens. So I'm just going to see if there's any other news that I missed out. Well, I still have time to kill here. I don't see any news here that I haven't mentioned already. Yes, it looks like that's about it. So, all righty. I guess we are done. So that's it for this week. Pretty easy week for you guys. So that's pretty good. So next week, as I said, nobody's going to be here. My daughter's going to be away doing her working camp, and my wife and son are going to be camping as well. So I have another free weekend up here. We've got 420 this week, and taxes, I guess, are due on Monday and stuff like that. So I'll be doing more research on my 500 movies of all time that I'm be doing for my 500th episode, and figure out how I'm going to fit these 5 episodes with 100 movies each into the stuff. So we'll figure out. Okay, have a great rest of your day, nice weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye.